Highly effective people do not need to meticulously plan out their day to realize and bring about the reality of their vision that they're building. They have the flexibility in their life to be able to show up for people when they need it. Because one thing that's guaranteed in this life is the people you love are going to go through hard times. You are often going to be the best person to be there for them. When you are able to meet people that are able to hold a space for you, your growth is going to be exponential. If you're able to surround yourself with people who can support you, that's what you want. You want to be around people who have mastered themselves and mastered their own self-awareness. And as a highly effective person, you're going to need to learn how to do that too. You're going to be in front of people all the time who are going through stuff and they're going to want to call on you. They're going to need your help. They're going to need your assistance. And that is your perfect opportunity where you get to show up as a reflection of the best version of them. And you can't fake this because energy does not lie. If you're going to choose someone to mentor you in life or in business, and you choose someone who does not have the results that you want to have, you're going to stay stuck for a very long time. You need to pick the people around you wisely. Be picky. Like, be specific. It's your life. Like, why would you cheap out on anything? See, whenever you are focused on your vision and you're focused on your goal, you're going to have your own energy stores within yourself already. Okay? You're going to be in a position where you're fueling your own fire. So to speak, you've got water in the well. So you're able to then communicate with other people without taking on their problems. You can still hold a space for them. You listen and you create a space for that person. You understand. And then you look from a higher level and you're able to give them a perspective shift. You need to let people feel their feelings, okay? There is a difference between accepting the loser's story, mourn with those who mourn, and being able to just create a space for that person. If you're able to create a space for the people in your life, it's never going to be at your detriment. That's really important because I see a lot of people who live a really stoic lifestyle and they're like, oh no, I'm not taking any of that on. I'm not going to take part in this. I'm not going to do that. And there is a time and a place for that. 100%. There has to be a point where you draw the line. But initially with the people that you love, whenever you see them going through a hard time, allow them to lean on your strength in that moment. And there's no ego involved in this, okay? And you're not overly empathizing with them either because you're not going to accept the loser story for them. As you continue to work on yourself and master yourself and build your own self-awareness, you're going to be in a really unique position where you will be able to see things from a point of view that others can't. That is the type of thing that will make you a legend later in life. So no matter what you do, always remember that a person to be loved is more important than a problem to be solved. You do not need to get emotionally involved in a person's problem. That is a weakness, okay? Now, there'll be times where I'll be speaking to my sister and she'll be crying and that will make tears fall down my cheeks. But you don't get emotionally involved in the problem. You become someone's stronghold. You become the place where they can go. They can let their emotions out. It's so important to let things pass to and through you. Otherwise, you're going to suppress a lot of energy within yourself and it is going to express itself in some form. Be that you start gaining weight because you're stressed out. Girls talk about that all the time. If it's your skin breaks out because you're upset, okay? We seek vices, okay? People seek vices to be able to get some kind of recognition for their problems, but that's not the healthiest way to go about your problems in life. You're going to have challenging times. That is a guarantee. If you don't have challenging times, you aren't growing. You need to have those plot points in your life, but do not give in to them as excuses. A problem is not an excuse. If you need to take 24 hours, I heard Matthew McConaughey say that. His mum would give him 24 hours to be heartbroken and devastated over whatever had happened. And then after the 24-hour mark, it was like, right, okay, switch on, get going, take action, move. Now, I personally wouldn't be that strict. I would let someone process their emotions and process what had happened to them until the point where we now have a clear scope of what's gone on. Okay, Lindsay was talking to me and she said that you go to the root cause. You identify like the deeper questions behind what they're annoyed about. Because people aren't actually annoyed by what goes on the surface level. People are going to be reactive to the surface level events in their life all the time. But it's never that. It's never those things on the surface that are bothering them. It's something about themselves in the deeper levels. There's something reflecting in their realities in those moments on the surface that honestly you need introspection. This is why it is so important to be picky about who you choose to be around. Because if you choose to be around people who are going places, who are switched on, who are high functioning, intelligent, wise, and just tuned in, if they are aligned to their goal, they're going to be able to help you align to your goal, because it's not, yes, we can all be specific and very niche and, you know, you can really break it down, but at the end of the day, it is the same general laws for all of us. And it takes an expert to help you do that, to help you see clearly, because the next step actually is always so obvious. You just need to clear the clutter. And sometimes you need to look at what the clutter is to go, okay, move that all to the side. It's character development, okay? You're polishing yourself as a person. There's no shame in that. I know for the amount of times that I have cried and had a breakdown, it was so required to purge old emotions and to purge old confusion and get it out of my system. You want to get these things out of your own energy field. That's really important. There is no nobility in being stoic and suppressing all your emotions and putting your head under the sand, okay? Because it's going to come up in some form. It's going to come out somewhere and it's going to come out at some time, because you can't just, you know, pretend that you're this untouchable force that has no feelings. You're a human being. You're a spiritual being having a human experience, and the human experience involves painful moments. So allow that. Okay, that's really important. The more permission you give yourself to be yourself in every single phase and in all the different kinds of categories that you could be experiencing, the more love, the more trust, and the more reliance you're going to build on yourself. The more you're going to be an asset to other people, the better you'll be at what you do. The deeper the reason will be behind your why. You'll have more profound wisdom, your character will be more rich, and you'll be able to enjoy life more. People who have things handed to them every single day, that person is not as interesting as the person who has gone through the hardships and has the story to tell. Okay? That's why you hear about rich kids always wanting to, you know, find themselves and like feel some kind of significance, because they're living off their parents' legacy and they've not done anything, they've not built anything for themselves. That's really tough for them. People will be like, oh, eat the rich. No, they don't have problems. We all have problems. Okay? And just because you don't relate to someone's problem doesn't mean that they don't have any. Okay? And it doesn't make it less valid. You need to be able to look at life through a neutral lens. But at the end of the day, and it's funny because this is what Kim was saying, when people come to you and they're looking for help and you do have water in the well to give, sometimes people just need your presence. Sometimes people just need 15 minutes of your day. And if it's someone that you love and it's someone that you value, then give them that time. And this is what Kim said. If you are actually locked in on your vision, you will not be distracted by somebody else's chaos. If you get emotionally involved in somebody else's problems, that's a good indicator for you to be able to go, oh, I'm actually not locked in on my own life. And then you go and you get locked in and you do what you have to do. You will not be thrown off by anything when you're locked in on your desire, but you can still be present for others. For the people that matter, you need to be able to show up. You need to be able to switch hats when it's required. There's no nobility in acting stoic 24/7. I know there'll be people who want to debate that, but it's really not up for debate. A person to be loved is always more important than a problem to be solved.